The following program was produced by the students of the Brian Lamb School of Communication at Purdue University.
This week on Fast Track, we'll take you to a brand new center at the Purdue Memorial Union, aiming to expand the Alumni Association.
And speaking of Purdue alumni, let's take a look at some highlights from C-SPAN founder Brian Lamb's visit to campus.
And then we'll head over to the Purdue Hawaii Club's Spring Luau to learn a bit about Hawaiian culture. Fast Track starts now.
Welcome everyone. We're coming to you from the top floor of Beering Hall, bringing Purdue news to you. I'm Rachel Just.
And I'm Zach Riddle. Purdue certainly has no shortage of distinguished alumni, and every year students are treated to opportunities to interact with these noted Boilermakers.
One of Purdue's esteemed alumni has a special significance to the communication school. Its namesake C-SPAN founder, Brian Lamb.
Now, Brian Lamb visited Purdue this week, and Fast Track had the opportunity to sit down for an interview and ask him a few questions. Here are some highlights. We know you as, the namesake of the School of Communication. We know you as the public figure with C-SPAN, but I'm kind of interested in who Brian Lamb, the undergraduate, was when you were tottering around down there. What was that guy like?
That guy was not terribly good at being a student. I know people don't like to hear that, but and it wasn't because I had a great education. Mm-hmm. When I look back on the professors that I had and the things that I learned that I knew nothing about, from Eric Clitheroe's class on the philosophy of religions to Richard Crowder's class on classical music to all of the history and great issues and all the general studies and all those things. That was a foundation that I have always used since I was here. But as a student, I wanted to work.
Why was public trust in the media so high around the time that C-SPAN started?
Probably because we had been through a war, mm-hmm. that our government lied to us during the war that we were winning when they knew we weren't.
For the rest of our interview with Brian Lamb, visit us on YouTube at Purdue University Fast Track.
Purdue has one of the biggest international populations among all the universities in the United States.
And now, a newly established center called SILMAR aims to help both international and domestic students develop their intercultural competence. Fast Track Morajo takes a closer look at SILMAR.
Again, it's time to prepare for welcoming new students to Purdue campus, including more than 9,000 international students, but you can never see them in visiting tours. Most of them have never been to Purdue campus until their first semester starts. To deal with this bunch of cultural adaptation problems, a new center, SILMAR, established. It carries out a series of programs to help international students as well as domestic students develop their intercultural competence, not only in new students welcoming, but in every aspect of daily communication.
SILMAR is the Center for Intercultural Learning, Mentorship, Assessment, and Research. And it combines our efforts to help students from all different cultures, both from abroad and here in the United States, to learn from and with one another.
As a part of international program, SILMAR is a center that combines previous activities with new research programs. The newest part is intercultural competence training.
Before, we just were known as international programs with Boiler Out and with International Friendship Program. But now within international programs, we have a new center called SILMAR. And we brought those programs I just described and the curricular side together.
Students who take part in those previous programs receive a bunch of benefits.
This is the first time meeting people from different countries. Back home, I never get the opportunity to do so because it's all Indians wherever you go, because that's how it is back where I am. So I got to improve my cross-cultural communication skills, and openness was a factor that was involved as well. So I think it's helped me a lot in my personal growth skills, and hopefully I keep improving, I guess.
SILMAR Opening Gala will be held on April 18th in the Memorial Union South Ballroom. The center will continue promoting intercultural communication among Purdue students and, at the same time, contributing to the local community. More future events are available on SILMAR's website. Morajo, Fast Track News.
We have to take a short break, but when we'll come back, we'll check in with Kyle at the weather desk for our Springfest forecast. Stay with us.
So the Brian Lamb School of Communication has a long tradition as a department of communication originally, so well over 100-year tradition.
There has been communication here in the teaching of speech and organizational communication and other things for decades.
We have a very vibrant, I think, curriculum for our students in 5 different areas of communication.
It's everything from human relations and communication about relationships to public relations to communication within organizations to video production.
I think we attract really a variety of students who are interested in learning about communication skills, but then also being able to use those skills in a variety of settings.
Students have a lot of chances to get real, practical, applied experience, hands-on learning.
The classes that I've taken have definitely helped me grow in the career that I want, and I could not imagine taking any of these classes anywhere else.
I think a great part of our curriculum is when we have alumni who come back to classes and talk to students.
The networking is incredible through this program. We're all over the nation and even all over the world. I've actually had an internship where a Purdue grad was working there full time, and it was at Warner Brothers Studios.
I think when people hear about Purdue University, their first thoughts are probably engineering and astronauts. I'd like for students who aren't necessarily interested in being astronauts or engineers to also think about Purdue, but in terms of the Brian Lamb School of Communication.
Also very excited to see what my future holds because of Purdue, and I know I'm fully prepared because of the Brian Lamb School.
Welcome back to Fast Track. Now, before we jump into more of this week's stories, let's send it back over to Kyle for this weekend's forecast.
Thanks, Zach. Let me tell you what's going on weather-wise. Warmer temperatures ahead for the weekend and definitely into next week. Next round of storms coming as well, and an active week ahead. Here's what's going on right now temperature-wise. A lot of the country is engulfed in some cooler air. You see 40s here for much of the Midwest and the North. 60s down here in the South, which is to be expected for this time, but it's a little bit chilly for spring right now. Right now we have 40 degrees, wind chill of 32, a little bit of humidity, but you notice those winds are coming from the northwest, which is the reason why things are a little bit cooler than they normally are for this time. High 53, and the low is going to get really close to freezing for tonight, so watch out for that. Here's a current satellite. We had this low pressure system that was the culprit of those storms that came through yesterday. But right now, high pressure system is the main thing that's going on, which is why the skies are clear and very sunny outside. It's a very nice day. The only thing you got to worry about is that temperature. But here's some infrared. Here's some next activity that I'm worried about that may move closer to us into next week. But right now, most of our area is clear with some clear blue skies, some clouds, and some precipitation off to the east, but that's far from us right now. See, 53 is the high. Normally we reach 59. The record is 80, but we're far from that as well. So today is a little bit below average, but there's nothing too much to worry about. But as you go on throughout the rest of your night, 47 at 8, and as you go on throughout the night, things start to cool off. So keep your jacket handy. If you have any plans or anything, you're going out, it's going to be chilly than expected. But tomorrow should be a warmer day, so look out for that. Thanks, Zach. Back to you.
Thanks, Kyle.
Deaf and hearing impaired people face many obstacles, and one of those obstacles is the search for employment.
But here at Purdue, the EPIC student team and Deaf Kids Code team are doing what they can to help deaf and hearing impaired people find job opportunities in the technical industry.
Fast Track's Ingling Chen has a story.
The EPIC student team and Deaf Kids Code team from Purdue University's engineering project in community service hosted an event called Inspire to Innovate for their project on April 2nd at Purdue's Neil Armstrong Hall of Engineering Atrium. The event kicked off an Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign to raise money for the ongoing project. The goal of the project is to translate JavaScript coding videos from Khan Academy to American Sign Language.
What our campaign is doing is we're translating 1,000 Khan Academy videos into American Sign Language. We're specifically translating coding videos, and the purpose of our project is to be more inclusive in STEM education.
The organizers gathered all the cool technologies and groups on campus to showcase what they've done. This hands-on tech fair event showed technologies such as live translation of the videos, virtual reality games, interactive laser harp, and the robot that manipulated by glove.
We created this Zyro robot module prototype like 2 years ago. Right now it's being commercially licensed into a company called Zero UI. This robot kit is about how to use your hand gesture to control a modularized robot.
The event is free and open to the public. Yinglong Chen, Fast Track.
Does your house or apartment not offer recycling?
Now, you may not know it, but there's actually a place right by Purdue's campus where you can take all of your cans, bottles, and cardboard boxes that you want to get rid of.
I headed over to the center to learn more about how to dispose of these goods and how you can save the environment in the process. Take a look. I'm here at the West Lafayette Recycling Drop-Off Center, a place that many students may not know about. Recycling has become a large part of the national conversation in the last few years, and that may only increase with the growing concern over environmental protection. Recycling is the #1 way to prevent harmful products from entering the earth or our oceans, because these products don't just disappear when we put them in the trash can. Once they're put in the earth, they take a long time to break down. Recent research from the National Park Service found that one plastic bag takes 10 to 20 years to decompose in a landfill. For tin cans, it's half a century, and for a glass bottle, scientists say that will take 1 million years to decompose fully. As you can see, this place is really full, but think of how much more full it could be if more Purdue students took advantage of it. With Purdue's numerous sustainability programs, it may be easy for students on campus to throw their trash away responsibly. But what happens once they leave campus for the day? The city of West Lafayette does provide residents with free curbside pickup, but that service is limited to individual homes or small apartment complexes. However, many Purdue students stay in large complexes, which are run by rental agencies that usually don't pay to have recycling in their buildings. This means that many students throw away items that could be recycled, and instead of letting them be transformed into something else, they end up in a landfill or in nature. But there's another option. Students can collect their recyclable items and bring them to the West Lafayette Recycling Drop-Off Center. The center accepts all 7 different kinds of plastics: tin, mixed paper products, newspapers, and even cooking oil and motor oil. The center is located just off of River Road. It's a secret that West Lafayette residents have been taking advantage of for years.
My wife or I probably come here, I'd say at least once a week. We bring more stuff here than we put out in our garbage.
Now, if you have any interest in recycling yourself, the drop-off center is open 24 hours a day and it's free, only a mile from Purdue's campus. Rachel Just, Fast Track News.
So Rachel, was that the first time that you've done a story from a trash can?
It was, but it could happen again, so I'm glad I got to try it this early in my career. When Fast Track comes back, we remember 2 students who devoted their lives to raising money for the kids of Riley.
We'll be right back.
Purdue Convocations is pleased to announce its 2016-2017 season, including Broadway favorites Dirty Dancing, Mamma Mia, Pippin, and Rent. The season will also feature special performances by Mavis Staples, the St. Petersburg Philharmonic, Taj Express, the Bollywood Musical Review, and more. Pick 5 shows or more, get great seats, and save big. Visit convocations.org for details.
Welcome back to Fast Track.
The Purdue Alumni Association is the gateway for alumni to build relationships with each other as well as with their alma mater. To make that easier, a new center called Boilermaker Station just opened in the Purdue Memorial Union.
The center is an engagement space for friends and alumni to interact, learn about Purdue history, and stay connected to the Alumni Association.
Fast Track's Madeline Baruti takes us there to the new center to see what it's all about.
In hopes to attract more alumni, a new center called Boilermaker Station has opened in the Memorial Union across from the Welcome Center in room 108. Boilermaker Station is an engagement space for students, alumni, and friends to gather and enjoy a modern interactive experience celebrating Purdue.
They have created a very interactive space here, whether people want to come in and just relax, or they want to stop in and have a seat, or they want to renew their membership, or find out more information about the benefits of being a Purdue alumni.
Boilermaker Station is equipped with a 98-inch digital display that puts Purdue traditions and milestones of the alumni network at your fingertips.
The interactive space that they've created is kind of a juxtaposition of past and present. This interactive screen here is pretty state-of-the-art. So any history with regards to current or past alumni, how they relate to Purdue University, amazing innovations that have come about as a result of their work and research can be found here.
Boilermaker Station also comes with a charging station, tablets to access alumni information and registration, a photo station for visitors, and more references to all things Purdue. The space can also be booked for events and is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and will be open on Saturdays before home football games. Madeline Bayrudy, Fast Track News.
Purdue University Dance Marathon spent last week celebrating the memory of two Purdue students, John Romine and David Feltner, who dedicated themselves to this nonprofit organization.
Fast Track reporter Charles Liu shows us how they made the ending of that week even more remarkable.
On their last day of celebration, PUDM regularly gathered people in the union and then took them out for the balloon release.
This entire week has been very much based around sort of what started PUDM, and we have a lot of events throughout the entire week. And my specific role with my committee is sort of working closely with families, and it's sort of what inspires families, what inspires everyone here, what makes us do what we do. And today is sort of to celebrate that, and it's sort of our final day and release balloons. So everyone writes the name of someone who inspires them. So we have people here wrote names of family members in Riley families, people with family members who've been affected by cancer, or friends, or etc. And they write the name of the balloon, and then at 4 o'clock we're all going to release them to the air.
The weather was worse than expected, but even the chilling rain in early spring couldn't stop people from participating in this activity with passion.
I've been a part of PUDM for 3 years now, and I've never been able to come to an activity like this. It was a really cool event to see just how people have been impacted by Riley families and other people that have left an impact on their lives, to let them see symbolically letting go of a balloon, just that showing that we care about who they are and who they were.
Charles Liu, Fast Track News.
Purdue is a university constantly promoting diversity, with clubs created to inform the community about different cultures.
Last week, Purdue's Hawaii Club held its Spring Luau at the Co-Rec, an event that allows audiences to experience Polynesian culture, food, and music. Let's take a look with Fast Track's Shwanda Yi.
It is time to experience the culture and traditions of the islands at Purdue Hawaii Club's Spring Luau.
So the purpose of this event is mainly to bring everyone together for a celebration of each other. Basically, that's what a luau encompasses.
The event was held at Purdue's Co-Rec on March 24th and included many traditional Hawaii foods and music. It also featured a performance brought to the audience by the Nichols family.
We wanted to touch on the major emphasis of each island. So for example, New Zealand is strength and warrior, and in warriors, Hawaii is grace, Tahiti is beauty and strength, and speed, Samoa happiness, and so all those little things that each of the different islands kind of represent as whole, we wanted to express that to people who have no idea who the Polynesian people are. And so if we can kind of get them to understand the surface of it, they would understand that the depth of those people and how beautiful they really are. So that's kind of the concept of this show tonight, was to give people a glimpse.
The event was highly regarded by the audience.
I thought it was amazing, the food was delicious, and the cultural experience was great, and the performances were just fantastic.
After the performance, the Nichols family interacted with the audience, taking pictures with them and allowing some to try the instruments, or painting their faces at the Maori. Ginto hopes they can bring more Hawaiian culture to Purdue in the future.
I hope in the future that we're able to expand the club and bring it to the university, just because it's such a rich background from Hawaii and we don't get to learn that in our everyday history classes.
Fast Track News, 传得野.
We have to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll check in with Kyle to take a look at the 7-day forecast.
Stay with us.
The enchanting musical Pippin will swing into Elliott Hall of Music with a dazzling new production. The big top set and high-flying acrobats add to the spectacle. Convocations proudly presents the Verona String Quartet and pianist Daniel Su, the 2015 Concert Artists Guild competition winners, for a program that unites them for Franck's Quintet in F minor, an urgent work with one emotional height after another.
Welcome back to Fast Track. Now tomorrow we have a special event that's going on campus. It's called Spring Fest. Starts at 10 a.m., goes from 10 to 4. A lot of events that's happening for young kids, young and old alike. Tons of events from ice cream to video interviews. A lot going on for the children. Now don't worry about the rain or anything because temperatures are a lot warmer than they were today as well. 8 a.m. starting out the day at 40 degrees. So if you come out, definitely bring your jacket. But as the day progresses, things really start to warm up. 63 here at 2 p.m., 65 here at 4 p.m. Winds, a light wind coming from the south, which is the culprit why things are warm. And that's a story for much of the country tomorrow as well. As you can see today, things were in the 40s and 50s for the high, but that's already broken. 60s here in Indiana, 70s here in Missouri, down in Texas is really, really warm. So tomorrow is more like springtime than versus today. You can even see that with the lows tomorrow night. Lows tomorrow night reach the mid to upper 50s, which is a story because today there's going to be a high temperature. So you can see the lows for tomorrow night are going to be the high temperature, which it is today. And here's the 48-hour range snowfall. You can see a lot of activity is here in the West Coast with that low pressure system. On the opposite end of the country, there in New York and areas of Vermont and Maine where the air is still relatively cold. But for us, the high pressure system is very dominant, which means there's nothing too much going on precipitation-wise. Just clear blue skies and mid temperatures. Now going into the 7-day, you can see things start to creep back up temperature-wise, going into 75 on Sunday and 70 on Monday. Could be a thunderstorm or two on Monday if I kept that chance of rain in there. Tuesday, slight chance as well, but going to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, things start to look more normal for springtime. Thanks. Back to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Kyle.
For some, video games are a pastime, but for others, video games are something to be treasured. Fast Track's Kyle Jordan Dideau takes a look at the gaming HQ.
In the last decade, video games have seen a huge increase. With this increase in demand, people really want to know where to find a wide variety of games for low prices. GameX has only been around a little over a decade, but you will be surprised at everything that they have to offer.
Some of the biggest ones is what we carry every system out there, from ColecoVision, Atari, any old school all the way through the next gen. We also offer 90-day warranty on all our systems that we sell. Everything else in the store has at least a 30-day manufacturer defect warranty.
GameX has all different types of games, controllers, accessories, and even movies. Mainly tailored toward older video games, but GameX has more recent merchandise as well.
There's some people who only want to, they don't have the money for the next gen stuff. And so they're content with the 360 or even a regular PlayStation. These are the older systems are becoming more and more popular. And so I think that has been one of our strong points.
Video games have been around for decades. People play video games for all different kinds of reasons. Some play them for simple relaxation, while others play them for nostalgic purposes. Whether you are a hardcore gamer or just looking for something new for your child to play, GameX has it.
I've got one in Lafayette, then we have one in Kokomo. Then really depends on what the market allows, but we're not opposed to opening other stores, but it's just whatever time allows.
GameX has exactly what customers want, has the competitive prices that either match or are lower than their competitors. This is Kyle Jordan Dideau, Fast Track News.
Well, that wraps up this episode of Fast Track.
For these stories and more, be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and on YouTube at Purdue University Fast Track. And be sure to stop by and see us at the College of Liberal Arts tent at Purdue Springfest, April 8th.
I'm Rachel Johnson.
And I'm Zach Riddle.
To your call once more we rally alma mater, hear our praise. Where the Wabash spreads its belly filled with joy, our voices raise. From the skies in swelling echoes come the cheers